Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're doing part four of this marathon. We want to thank you all for joining tonight from around the world. And matter of fact, if you haven't, or if you got people you want to get on, you can text them real quick. If you haven't already, please go to our website and click subscribe. And in the message, what pops up, please enter your email address in the box and click sign up. That way we can inform you on stuff that are coming out in the future, okay? So we can get an email out to you. Because sometimes it works better for folks, and then sometimes it just does, okay? And I know you want to be aware of what's coming up. So today, on part four, I'm going to talk about, and you guys had 16 or so things that you wanted me to talk about. So I listened to you guys out there and listen to audience to compile things that you want to hear about. So out of 16, there's about 6 to 7 that we picked up. We put them together here. So tonight, I'm going to be talking about how to be authentic, the authentic you, while building your business, while building your insurance business, your network marketing business, your real estate business, any kind of business. Okay, so it's really important to understand that. I'm gonna give it a subtitle talking about entrepreneurship is a gladiator sport. It's a what? It's a gladiator sport. Yeah, it's gladiator. It's a sport of getting involved, which means you're rolling your sleeves up and becoming the person and growing into that role that you need to become to be a gladiator in the business, and long term is where you want to go. So first I'm going to break it down to about 4 subjects. What does your name mean? Let me ask you that. You want to be authentic and you want to build a business? Question, what does your name mean? In other words, what is your bond? You know, I remember the good old days when we used to shake hands and you met something, and met something, you say something, you shake hands. Today, when I shake people's hands, it's like a wet noodle, and you can tell they're not sincere. They can't look in the eye. When I shake somebody's hand, I want to look them in the eye. I want to look into their spirit, their soul. I want to see who they are deep down inside, past the outward person. Okay, it's very important. Next, I want to find out what kind of credibility you are, or what kind of credibility you have. Are you a person of your word, no matter what is said or done? Credibility is so important to be authentic. And a lot of times people say something and they wishy-washy, or they backtrack, or they this or that. Remember the old days with a handshake, that was a contract. These days you need everything in writing, and then you have to go over to make sure it's done right. All the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. So what does your name mean? If I gave your name to certain people, what would they say about that name? Is it something that's trustworthy? Somebody, a man or woman of character? What does that say about you? Also, next is integrity. If you want to be, you have to have integrity to stand by whatever it is you said you're going to do. Just do it, and no excuses. No excuses. We want to stand behind everything and justify everything why it's not our fault. So you're a true leader that is want to be authentic with people, has to be very transparent, and also take 100%. Write this down: 100% responsibility for what you say or do. If you're building a team, it's never my job to be getting the credit. I always give it to the organization. Things go bad, it is my responsibility. I'll take the blame. And so many people don't do that. They want to hide behind that. Or they say, well, Mr. Thomas, I don't want to really be a leader. I don't want to stand out. I don't want to do, if something goes wrong, it's their fault. No. A leader who is transparent and also authentic wants to take responsibility. And trust me, folks, here's a big tip. That's how you grow into be a leader that people want to follow. People follow people that have vision, and make it clear. That little black book, BIBLE, stands for basic instructions before you leave an earth. It says people fell down because they lack of what? Vision. People follow visionaries, not money. They follow visionaries. Because remember, to get the vision, then the money comes. You don't get the money, then you get the vision. No, the vision comes first. So remember that. So if I say your name amongst a crowd of people, what would they say about your name? Okay. Would they say, is it honest? Can I trust this person? Are they trustworthy? Have they proven themselves through time that they are a person who is very authentic? Or are they wishy-washy? Okay. So number two thing I'm going to talk about, be a person of substance. Write that down. Substance. What do you mean by substance, Al Thomas? Well, substance would come to longevity. Substance. Yeah, longevity. I remember my first, and I've been in the network marketing industry for not 5, not 10, not 15, not 20, not 25 or 30, not 35 years, but 36 years. That's longevity. And that's a person of substance. Because no matter what comes up, you can't shake them. No matter what hills, valleys, or dips, they're still there. They hang in there. They're a person of substance. You can hang, as they say in the old way, in old school, you can hang your hat on what they say because they'll stand by it. You know, for example, on the bank board, I was on the bank board. Why I was on the bank board before I bought the bank? Why? Because I was a person of substance. They looked at the characteristics that I displayed, the long, the substance, the longevity, the credibility, the word. His word is his bond. Is your word your bond? Can people take that to the bank? That's important. Next, trustworthiness. I think I shared that a minute ago. Trustworthiness. You know, are you the kind of person, if my mom and dad were alive, I could put them in your vehicle and they could go across the United States and I'd be okay with that? That I trust that they're going to get there okay? That I trust that they're going to be in good hands? That I trust you enough to safeguard their well-being? So these are very important things. So be a person of substance. Number 3, be a person of your word. Oh my God. This is so big, especially in today's society, when people don't stand for anything, which means you'll fall for what? Anything. Be a person of your word. Be dependable. I could say that. You know, if you say something, mean what you say and stand by what you say. So dependable. Also, be accountable. Who are you accountable to? If you had a report card, would it be all A's, B's, C's, or would it be mixed with B's and C's and maybe a couple D's in there and a couple spots of F so that you fail because you come up with why that didn't happen, why you can do it, why you can complete it. And we always want to point the finger to somebody else. No, take 100% responsibility. So important to understand that. And then, are you genuine? What do you mean genuine? Be total transparent. That's what genuine means. You're transparent. People can see that you are who you are and you do what you say you are. Let me give you something about being genuine. And I had a gentleman that wanted to join my organization, and I went to do a talk for him, and he wanted me to sign him up into my organization. And I said, I can't do that because I met you through somebody else's organization. Even though you had me come into town, do a talk for you and flew me in and took me, care of me and my expenses and all that to do a talk for another company, he wanted to join my team. I said, I can't do that because I met you through another gentleman in my same industry and I cannot do that. So being genuine, I called up your gentleman. I told him, look, your guy had me in, he flew me in, took care of my hotel and airfare, talked to a group of a couple thousand people, and then he wanted to join my organization. And I told him to go back to you. See, that may not get back, but here again, there's too many people out. There's too many, as the saying goes, too many fish in the sea. Why should I ruin my credibility by taking taking somebody else's person that wanted to sign up with me? So that's part of being authentic. So I authentically called the guy and I told him no, but I also called the guy who I got introduced to him through in my same company and told him the story. So what do you think that did for my credibility with him? It went through the roof. What do you think that did with my name? It went through the roof. What do you think that did for my trustworthiness? It went through the roof. Credibility, integrity went through the roof. So you have to be that. Be genuine. And also don't have to step over people to become successful. There's enough people out there. There's enough for everybody. And there's new babies born every second, every minute, every hour. Folks, I'm here to tell you, be a person of your word. And number 4, stand by what you say you're going to do. This is amazing. Stand by it. You know, complete the task. You know, whenever I do investments, sometimes I put together a consortium of investors with money and we do projects together. And I make sure, number one, that all my investors get paid first and I get what's left. And I've had times when I had to cut back on my profits and give them more because I told them what I was going to give them. I could have said, well, hey, the deal was a little short there, a little short there. We'll make it up on the next deal. No, who wants to deal with you at that point? So I had to say, well, here, I lose a little bit on my profits, but I took care of my investors. So when I call again the next time to raise it, whatever I need to raise, guess what? They're in because they always know Al Thomas takes care of his people. Very important. What's that scene out of The Godfather? I make sure all my friends make money. So it's so true. So understand that. That's, complete the task. Be that person and stand by what you say you're going to do. And when you say it, a lot of times with my investors, I sometimes I have a time limit on it, and I pay them sometime way back before the time limit is up. How do you think that makes them feel? They're gracious. Next time I call them, they'll be first one in line. Call me first, because you be a man of integrity or a woman of integrity, and also you're authentic. That's what's so important. What does your name mean, and what does it represent? Think about it. What does your name mean, and what does it represent? If I said Rockefeller, what does that name mean, and what does that represent? If I said Trump, what does that name mean, and his whole family? If I said A.P. Giannini, what does that name mean? Think about it. What does the name mean? What's behind the name? Is there credibility behind the name? Is there justification why I should do some business with this person's name? And there's other people's names you don't want to do anything with because of who they are and what their name represents. It's like you could talk about somebody. Hey, have you met so-and-so, so-and-so? I think I know that person. Oh, yeah. And first thing comes to your mind, either with something positive or something negative. Why you will do some business with them or why you won't. So what does your name mean in the marketplace? In the marketplace. I've been doing this for 36 years. When I left my previous network marketing company, came to the one, my second network marketing company, they said, we wanted you because your credibility and what you did in the first one. And they cherry picked 5 or 6 of us to come over. Why? Because we had a great name for ourselves. We did things right. And that's what you want your name to represent. What does a marketplace say about your name? Is it good, bad, or is it indifference? Let me ask you a question. If we went to the marketplace, how much could we raise? How much money could you raise on your name and credibility right now? If you went to a bank, just on your signature, could you raise money because your credibility and your standards with the bank, knowing that you pay your credit good? Some people's credit is shot because they don't pay bills. How much would they lend you at variable rates? But here again, it goes back to the individual. Always keep a good name, always be very transparent, and be very authentic in your business dealings. Not everybody does that. I get it. But you need to stand out from the crowd. It doesn't take much. It takes you to stay on track, be consistent, and make your word mean something. And no excuses. Make your words mean something. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to have a quick chat with you about how to build a business, but you build the business on the credibility of who you are. Your team, whether it's insurance, real estate, network marketing, or just your name. Your name means so much. So understand, there's power, there's credibility, there's credit worthiness in your name. I remember my dear friends, Dr. Miles Monroe, before he passed away in the Bahamas, Bahama Faith Ministries. I remember his son was coming up. And I remember his son went to one of the banks that his dad, because the credibility his dad had, Miles Monroe, his son could go to the bank and take out $1 million because his dad, because of the name. That is power, folks. That's very powerful. And today we're losing some of that. But I want you to get on track. Make your name mean something. Make your name a name that people want to associate themselves with. Okay? Very important. Rockefeller. A.P. Giannini. What about the Kennedy clan? Notice I said clan, because the whole names mean something. So it's important that you start today with your name meaning something. And hopefully you can pass this to the next generation and then the next generation. And now you got credibility. And that's what you want. So therefore, when you need something, you can get it. Where they need something and cannot get it because of the name. So this is something that's very important, how to be authentic while building your business. I've turned more no's down for people because it wasn't right. And always be on the right side of what is right and not on the left side. Always be in the right moment. Okay? Because your name is, and it will come back and bite you. Write this down. How you do anything is how you do what? You heard the saying, everything. So it's important to start off the right way. I remember the other day I threw something in the trash can and missed, and I kept walking out. No, I had to go back and pick it up. Because why? I couldn't leave it there. It's not who I am. How you do anything is how you do everything. So you want to understand this is important, especially today's climate. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time today. I just want to go through that shortly. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time with another one to wind up this week, this Friday, but how to be authentically you while building your business. Number one, your name. What does it mean? Number two, be a person of substance. Number three, be a person of their word. And number four, stand by whatever you say and be that what you say you're going to do. This is so important, especially today's climate. I hope this blessed you today, and I want to thank you for your time. Be back with us tomorrow. If you haven't, leave a comment below, hit the like button, and also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I want to thank all you folks around the world for tuning in today. I hope this blessed you. Take care. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.